You've decluttered. The bags have gone to donation. The bins are in the basement. So why does your home still feel so heavy, still cluttered, still kind of off? Well, here's the uncomfortable truth. You're probably decluttering the wrong stuff. You're getting rid of things that are easy, that low hanging fruit, not the things that are actually holding you back. And you're not alone. We all do it. Because real decluttering, the kind that actually changes your life, that stuff's harder. Let's talk about it. You know that rush you get? You fill a box with mismatched socks, the promo tote bags, the expired coupons from 2019, maybe even a random single flip flop. It feels productive. You toss it all in a bag, drop it at the donation bin or the recycle center or the dump, and you drive away with that smug, I did something today glow. But here's the thing, that stuff was always on its way out. It was always going. You knew it. You just needed a mood, a cardboard box, and the right playlist. You don't get bonus points for decluttering garbage. And I'm not judging you, I do it too. You want that dopamine hit of getting rid of something. It's easy. But if your space doesn't feel any lighter, if it still makes you clench your jaw when you walk into a room, then you didn't declutter. You cleaned up noise. And the heavy stuff, the real stuff, is still staring you down. Here's a good test for you. If you got rid of a bunch of things, but the room still feels busy or cluttered or like it's pressing in on you, you've just rearranged your surface level chaos. You've done visual editing. But that emotional clutter, you haven't touched it. Real clutter is emotional. It's tied to our identity, to our guilt, to grief, to hope. And that's why it's hard. Let's talk examples. I mean, the jeans that almost fit, or the treadmill that now holds laundry, or the drawer full of guest candles. I mean, how many guests are coming over? And why are they getting a better candle than I have out in my living room? We keep this stuff because it represents who we were, who we wish we were, or who we think we should be. And it's weighing us down. Decluttering this stuff, it's very uncomfortable. It feels like letting go of a version of yourself that you were rooting for. That dress you haven't worn in 7 years, it's not just fabric. It's your, maybe I'll go back to that size story, or your, maybe I'll be more social next season self. And giving that up feels like giving up hope, even when it's quietly eating up space and self-esteem. But here's the thing, you're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to say, that's not me anymore. You're allowed to say, that goal does not fit my current life. And if that future version of you does arrive, don't you think she deserves something that actually fits and isn't 7 years old and guilt-stained? Let's get honest here. There are 5 specific categories that most people avoid like the plague when they're decluttering. The first one is aspirational items. This one is my Achilles heel. These are the things you bought for a future version of you. The juicer, the calligraphy set, the Learn Italian in 30 days books because you were going to do that big trip to Italy. You wanted to be the kind of person who used these things, but that person never quite moved in. The second is sentimental clutter. Kids' art, old birthday cards, that ticket stub from your second date. Stuff you've kept not because you use it, but because you feel bad getting rid of it. Let me say it clearly. You do not need to keep everything, to keep the memories. Number 3 is perfectly good things you secretly hate. That bowl that doesn't pour quite right, or the mug that is too big to fit in the dishwasher properly, or the itchy throw blanket. Every time you use them, they annoy you, but you feel too guilty to let them go. Why? Because they're perfectly good. But let me ask, good for who? Number 4 is obligation items, the serving tray from your cousin's wedding, or the candle from your office Secret Santa, or the decorative plate from a friend who saw it and thought of you. Very generous of her. And now it lives in your cupboard haunting you. You're not keeping the item, you're keeping the guilt. Number 5 is duplicates, 4 spatulas, 5 black purses, 3 can openers, none of which that work particularly well. We hold on to backups for security, but at some point it just becomes excess. Here's my rule of thumb. If you wouldn't use it when the main one breaks, it's not a backup, it's clutter. And here's the real kicker. Your stuff is talking to you every single day. Let me give you a painfully real example. We have an incline bench in our sun porch. The sun porch has technically become our workout area, but in reality, it's just a glorified staging zone for things on their way either to dump or donation. It's our gym / transfer station, if you will. So Dean brought this incline bench in about a year ago because he wanted to work out at home. I get it. We're getting older and staying in shape isn't as easy as it used to be. And he's used it 3 times. And look, I get it. Life happens. We have busy schedules, and he injured his foot and was in an air cast for a few weeks, but still, come on, 3 times in a year. So now I walk into that space and all I feel is rage at the clutter, at the bench, at Dean, then guilt because I'm mad at him for something completely irrational, and then resentment towards the entire fitness industry just to top it all off because it makes us feel like we're supposed to have a gym in our sunroom to begin with. It's a whole emotional cycle triggered by a single dusty piece of equipment. That's what clutter does. It creates friction, not just in your home, but in your relationships, in how you feel about yourself, in how much energy you have by the end of the day. So how do you shift from garbage decluttering to real transformation? You start with one emotionally loaded item, something that makes you pause, and you ask a few pointed questions. The first one is, do I even like this? And then you can ask, if I didn't already own it, would I buy it again? And third, does this support who I am or who I used to be? And 4, if this item disappeared tomorrow, would I even notice? When you answer, be honest. No one is watching or keeping score here. And remember, real progress doesn't always feel like a big dramatic purge. Sometimes it's just letting go of one old belief at a time. This isn't about turning your home into a showroom. You're allowed to have stuff, and you're allowed to love the stuff you have. You're allowed to keep the brick your kid found on a walk and decided was special. I did. It lives in my garden. And if we were to ever move, I guarantee that silly brick is coming with me. But your home should support your life, not weigh it down. And if your decluttering efforts haven't made life easier, lighter, or more honest, you're not doing it wrong. You're just decluttering the wrong things. Still holding on to bins of your someday self, walking past that one thing that makes you feel low-key guilty every time like I do. This is why your home feels off. Not because it's messy, because it's emotionally loaded. You've been so focused on what to get rid of, you haven't noticed what you've gotten used to. And speaking of blind spots, this next video will open your eyes. It's called Hidden Blind Spots in Your House. You've stopped noticing your home's flaws, but guests haven't, buyers haven't, your family definitely hasn't. Here's how to finally see them again. I'll see you over there.